In this video, we're going to be comparing the three most common types of landline internet connections, which are DSL internet, cable internet, and, of course, fibre internet. The first type of connection that we are going to discuss in this video is called DSL, which stands for Digital Subscriber Line. This type of connection utilises the existing telephone lines that go to most buildings on this planet. So the data is actually transferred over these phone lines. So you get yourself a DSL modem, which is usually provided by your ISP, which connects to the phone line, and then it connects you to the internet through this phone line. The modem operates at a completely different frequency range than the frequency range used by the telephone system, which is why with most DSL situations you can still use your telephone at the same time, so you can have telephone service and DSL service through the same line. So that is what DSL is and briefly how it works. Now let's take a look at the speed that you can achieve with DSL. What's it like? How fast is DSL? Well, the latest and greatest version of DSL is called VDSL, which stands for Very High Bitrate DSL, and it can achieve speeds of up to 100 megabits per second download speed and 30 megabits per second upload speed, which is in the best case scenario, of course, right? This is, in the real world, you'll have a hard time reaching these numbers on a DSL connection. Now, the problem with DSL and speed is the distance. The distance between your house and the central station that the DSL line connects to is very important. If you live rather close to this station, then the speed is going to be pretty acceptable. Maybe you'll even reach the theoretical 100 megabits per second if you're lucky, right? Probably not, but maybe. However, if you live further away from this station, your speed is going to decrease significantly on DSL lines. So whether your speed is good or not depends very much on how close you are to the central station with DSL lines. So this is a disadvantage of DSL, right? The disadvantage of DSL is that it's not extremely fast, and it gets even slower as you move further away. On the plus side, though, DSL is cheap and it's available to nearly everyone because nearly everyone has a telephone line at their disposal. So DSL is almost always available, which is very nice. Another advantage of DSL is that you have your own line that goes all the way from your house to the central station, which means your internet speed is going to be extremely consistent. It's not going to change when your neighbours are downloading some files. So when there is activity in your neighbourhood, that's not going to affect your internet speed because you have your own dedicated line that goes all the way from your house to the central station. Let's move on to the next one then, which is cable internet. Now, cable internet uses the existing, just like DSL, it uses an existing cable. It uses the existing coaxial cables which are normally used for TV broadcasting purposes. So just like DSL, the data is transferred over a cable that is also used for something else. Now, the main difference between DSL and cable is that you need a different modem, so a cable modem instead of a DSL modem, and cable internet is actually a little bit faster. So cable internet in most cases, right, because it depends on where you live and all of that, in most cases cable internet is going to be a bit faster than DSL internet. The problem though with cable is that it uses the TV cable network, and the TV cable network was built up in such a way in most places that you have one cable that goes to a neighbourhood and then it splits up to all the houses, which means that you're sharing the cable with the rest of your neighbourhood. So with DSL you have this really consistent speed, right? Your speed is always exactly the same. Whereas with cable, although the top speed is higher than that of DSL, sometimes there are these drops when your neighbours are downloading files or something like that, when they're watching a YouTube video about the different types of internet connections, right? In those cases, your speed can actually drop. So that's a thing to remember with cable internet. Then also, just like with DSL, cable is pretty much available in most places, and it's also rather cheap. Next up, there is fibre optic internet. Now, fibre optic internet, oh, this is great, right? So I've actually got a fibre optic cable here, and it's not actually an internet cable, it's a fibre optic audio cable, but it works kind of the same way, and I can use it to demonstrate how it works. So this is a cable, and I've got my little flashlight here, and what I can do is I can shine light into this side of the cable, and it will come out here, so it will travel all the way through the cable and come out the other side. Watch this, okay? I really hope the camera will be able to capture this properly, because that would be nice. Right, can you see that? If not, I'll make some B-roll of it and you'll see it anyway in the video. But so this cable works by sending light signals through a cable that is made out of glass. So it doesn't use electrical signals like copper cables, it uses light signals that travel through this fiberglass cable. Now, the thing is with fibre optic internet is, the reason it's so good is because this cable is actually made for internet. The other types we discussed in this video, cable and DSL, use cables that are already in the ground and just happen to be used for internet as well, whereas fibre was actually intended to be an internet cable, and it works really well. With fibre internet you can get insanely good download speeds and also insanely good upload speeds. So with fibre you can easily get 1 gigabit per second down and also 1 gigabit per second up if you're willing to pay for it. So technically fibre internet is absolutely superior. However, it's not available everywhere. That's the main problem with fibre. The fibre optic cables simply haven't been installed everywhere. In fact, most places don't have it installed. Most people don't have fibre optic internet to their house at their disposal, which is a shame, of course, but it will change in the future. Okay, so now the question is, which one of these is the best, right? Or which one should you get? Well, of course, fibre. If it's available to you, then get it. Do it now. Fibre is great. It's technically the superior kind of internet connection. If it's not available to you, then it's going to be most likely cable or DSL. Unless you have some sort of weird creative solution to get you out of a situation, of course. That's also very nice. So then, which one are you going to choose? Is it going to be DSL or is it going to be cable? Well, remember that cable has the highest top speed, but it's less consistent. You have these fluctuations in speed because of the activity in your neighbourhood. Whereas DSL is often, for most people, slower than cable, but is more solid. It stays at the same speed all the time. So it kind of depends on what the maximum speed is that you could get on DSL or cable, and also how much you prioritise a more consistent connection over a very fast connection. But of course that's up to you, right? You have to decide for yourself whichever one you like most. And that's about it for this video. So I hope you've enjoyed watching it, and of course thank you for watching.